Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Ripe for Reissue. And I'm annoyed. I am so annoyed. I can't even begin to tell you how annoyed I am. Well, yes, I can begin to tell you how annoyed I am because I'm going to do it right now. What the hell happened to this? The Decca Gilbert and Sullivan edition. Oh my God. I looked on Amazon recently. It's as if it never existed. You can't even see it as a formerly existent box. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it seems like all of Gilbert and Sullivan on Decca has gone out of print. I mean, I don't understand. It's unaccountable. I mean, I know. I like to dump all over the British musical establishment because they're just so dumpable. I mean, they really are. I mean, I don't want to go there, but you know what I mean, right? But there are some things that they got right. Somewhere in their clubby, sort of smirky, arrogant smugness and everything British has to be wonderfulosity, there was a huge amount of support for Gilbert and Sullivan. And yes, that should be supported. Why? Because Sullivan is the greatest composer known to mankind in the British Isles, or let's put it this way, he was England's greatest composer, period. And certainly the greatest in the 19th century. And, it makes no sense to delete this stuff. These are, quite simply, the greatest series of comic operas written, and especially when you consider, the combination of text and music, because Gilbert's words were brilliant. He was a brilliant librettist, and these were all, let me just put it to you this way. What is it that we all object to when we criticize operas? We criticize operas because most of them are adaptations from like plays and other sources, and the adaptations are usually absurd. I mean, they're ridiculous. What they have to do to adapt them to the circumstances of operatic performance, whether it's from Shakespeare or Schiller or Goethe or some great, or even someone who isn't so great, or some Greek source or mythological source, everything gets destroyed in order to turn it into an opera. Now, the opera may be great and the music may be great, but that happens nowhere more regularly than when you're dealing with like tragedy. You take a tragic thing and make it into a tragic opera, and the whole story goes to hell because you have to cut out all the nuances and things in order for it to get into a reasonable length of time. But these are all custom written libretti, written by a genius. I mean, let's talk for a minute just about the words. Why does nobody value the fact that there is no dissonance between musical intent and the actual text, which was custom fit to every single note? Wow! I mean, isn't that like the ultimate Gesamtkunst thing? I mean, even Wagner, who wrote his own libretti, was a horrible poet. I mean, his libretti suck. I mean, they're just terrible. And, however great the music may be, this is just the opposite. The perfect melding of words and music. Some of the greatest pieces of theatrical theatrical work ever, period. And the music is amazing. I mean, Sullivan was born for this. He knew it. He did a superb job with it. I mean, he wrote a lot of other music, some of which is very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But this is amazing. And what do you get in here? You get 25 CDs with just about everything they did. Some of them with the dialogue, which I think is wonderful to have because you have to appreciate the dialogue. Some of them they leave out, but okay. These were the modern stereo recordings. Do not confuse them with their mono precursors, which have been issued in like a super cheapy budget set that is available. I just looked on Amazon. It's $29. It's just like 10 CDs, and you don't want that one. I mean, actually, some of the performances are marvelous. I mean, they're classic d'oyly carte opera performances, but that's not the same as this much more complete edition. And so I am flabbergasted that these masterpieces have been deleted. I mean, these existed before in a bigger box where you got individual 2 CD sets. Now they're all in one jumbo box. And, this was like, you had to get this. You got this one, and you got the Malcolm Sargent one on Warner. And you were in business for Gilbert and Sullivan. That's what you had. These had the theatrical voices. Sargent had the operatic voices. And it was amazing. What is wrong with Decca? What is wrong with our musical culture? Why is this not available forever? It is insane. I'm depressed. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.